I stopped fighting is the day I stopped breathing. I don't take no talk or nothing off anybody. You know, you disrespect me, man, I'm stamping in your face. I don't give a shit. I used to get teased because I've only got one eye and people calling me Cyclops and one eye, and the only thing I'd answer was a punch or a kick in the head. Them days, I weren't interested in football, mate. I was just interested in, you meet in town, you have a fight in town, you go to the match, you have a fight in the match, you have a fight after the match, you come back in town, you probably have a fight, then you go home. I remember when I did that Dyer program, I thought, have I done the right thing or have I done the wrong thing? You get all these hood rats out there, right, and they all want to make a name for themselves. Yeah. And the only way they can make a name, if they take out a main guy or a named guy, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I ain't giving no fucking a chance, man. Well, the black lads didn't like me in Coventry because I'm from Birmingham, and the white lads didn't like me because I'm black and from Birmingham.
Hello and welcome to episode 13 of the In Brother Words podcast with me, Tommy, and my brother, Robbie. If you're new around here, please like the video and subscribe. There's plenty of great content for you to catch up on. And today, for the first time ever, we're not in our own home.
Yeah, we're on the road.
We've travelled to sunny Birmingham today. Arcadian Las Iguanas. It's who you know, innit? Not what you know.
Exactly. Shout out Las Iguanas.
Shout out Las Iguanas. So we have with us today a very special guest, bit of a legend around these parts. He was a notorious hard man turned author turned charity worker, Mr. Baz Patterson.
Hello, how are you
Thank
doing?
you for being
very
here,
much
Baz.
for coming on.
Really appreciate it. So we found some common ground, didn't we? In that you are from Burton, as we are too.
Originally from Burton.
Yeah. So how long were you kind of in Burton?
I was born in Royal Anglesey Hospital. I was born there. But I moved from Burton when I was about 4 or 5 years old. I moved to Handsworth. I don't really remember much because my dad was in prison and my mum's mum was over in Birmingham. So my mum left Burton to come over to Birmingham. But we used to go back just before Christmas, about a week before Christmas, to stay at my grandmother's. She used to live on Derby Street.
Okay.
So we used to go down there and stay down there with my uncles and that.
There's not a lot around there, is there?
No.
Yeah.
Back then there weren't nothing around there anyway.
No.
So what was Birmingham like in those days then? So what year are we talking roughly? Like when?
Well, I was born 65.
Okay.
Moved over about.
So it's like 70s. You grew up in Birmingham.
Really early 70s.
What was Birmingham in the 70s like then?
It was home, man. It was proper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was more people of my colour. you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But back then there probably weren't a lot of black people around in Burton at the time. You know what I mean? But they all knew each other. And even up to now, they still know each other. But when we moved to Birmingham, it was more better.
Yeah. So, how would your teachers have described you? You know, if we had them all lined up here and we said, what was Baz like at school?
Always going for a laugh, always cracking jokes and fighting at school.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah. So, where did that kind of, at what age did that kind of fighting mentality? Because we'll touch on it a little bit later. Obviously, your fighting.
It came probably not even that. Probably junior school, to tell the truth. Because I used to get teased and, not bullied at the time, but I used to get teased because I've only got one eye and people calling me Cyclops and one eye. And the only thing I'd answer was a punch or a kick in the head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That was the initial response.
That was the way I would respond to it. But now, people say, "Right, Baz, one eye Baz."
I was going to say, because people are like, if you type in your name into Google, it is One-Eyed Baz.
The name of your book is that.
Does that still kind of?
Well, that name's made me. If you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like you said before, if someone called me One Eye, first thing I'll do, bam. But now, all right, mate, how you doing? All right, love, how you doing? It's me.
Yeah. How did it happen?
My sister threw a can at me and caught me in the eye.
Of what?
A can of Coke.
Never drank Coke again. That's why he's on water today.
Was it really?
Yeah,
something is like.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Caught my eye.
Jesus. So, and what age was that then that happened?
Probably about 6-7 years old, I think.
It's a big thing to go through as a kid, isn't it? I know, like you're saying,
But worst thing about it, I can't remember Jack about it.
Really?
I can't remember nothing.
So you don't really remember having
No. And to this day, it's never affected me in anything I wanted to do. The only thing I'd love to do when I was younger was join the armed forces or something like that. Well, you know, I wouldn't get there with one bloody eye. I'd probably might get a job as a sniper, and that's about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
with one eye, man, you definitely got to be a good shot because you got to close the door, are you? So,
exactly,
you know what I mean?
Is that something you would like to have done? Do you think?
I'd like to.
in
I'd
another
like to,
life?
Yeah. I'd like to. I love travelling. Even up till now, I love travelling. With my fighting, I've travelled all over the world, and I just love travelling.
Yeah. So, like I say, your fighting career did take you all over the world. So you fought like in America, Japan, Holland, everywhere.
No, I didn't get to go to Japan. I got stitched on that one.
Oh, okay.
To go to Japan, but Hawaii, New York. Hawaii, Brazil, all around Europe, and you know what I mean. Lovely.
Yeah. So you've competed in kickboxing, MMA. Where did it all start for you? So you go from a kid fighting at school.
Well, it all started in my early teens. There used to be two picture houses in cinemas in Handsworth. One called Grand Palace and one called Elite. So on a Friday or Saturday night, all the show was just kung fu films. Okay. And my mum used to take us down there to watch kung fu films. And then you're there till like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning watching kung fu films. And then everyone, you know, at the end of the night, everyone comes out and starts fighting each other. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's where it all started for me. You understand what I'm saying?
So like early heroes, then like Bruce Lee, people like that, then in the early days. Yeah.
I started off with normal Shotokan and Wado karate. That's where I started off. And no, my first, sorry, let's go back. My first martial art was judo. Okay. I started judo at school. So that was my first martial art. Then I started Wado and Shotokan. Well, I just didn't like that, here, and you know, your kata and all that.
Bit dramatised, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit of a show, isn't it?
I'm not into all that. I can't say crap really, but
you can swear on it if you need to.
I want to fight. You know what I'm saying? So then it's not only till I moved to Coventry, 1987. That's when my fighting really actually started. When I started training kickboxing with a guy called Dev Barrett. Yeah. And that's where it all really started properly. Yeah.
And you obviously had a lot of good success in kickboxing.
Oh
as well.
Gosh, man, the man's took me all. You know, the guy was more like a father figure to me. If you understand what I'm saying. You know what I mean? And I remember the first time I actually went into his dojo. It was me and one of my friends in Coventry, a white lad called John, and what we called him Catalogue John. And he's a tall geezer. And we walked into the gym, and he came up to me and says, "Can I help you two?" I said, "Yeah, I want to start into the kickboxing." He looked at me and went, "You want to kickbox?"
Really?
And I went, "Yeah, I want to start kickboxing." And that's where it all started.
So I've got to ask why he's called Catalogue John. I can't let that slip.
Karate chopped the catalogue in Argos.
Right. You know, one of them white lads in a catalogue magazine.
Oh, yeah, like one of them.
He's one of them. That's why we call him Catalogue John. You know what I mean?
So you just said about you know, in being a bit of a father figure, and earlier in the podcast you mentioned that your father was in prison when you moved from Burton. Yeah. Can I ask how long he was? You know, was he in prison for the whole of your upbringing?
Well, not really. I didn't really actually know my dad properly. Yeah. Until I was about 14, 15 years old.
So I was wondering if he acted, you know, as that father figure that you needed, maybe.
You know, we used to get, like I said, down to Burton on the Christmas time, stay at my grandmother's, and my dad used to pass by, see us, take us out, buy us things. But I can't really remember him. If you understand, I remember him coming to see us, but
didn't really have a relationship.
Yeah, never really had a relationship because at the end it was bloody 5 of us. But I never had a relationship, so I didn't have a relationship with my dad until I was about 14, 15 years old, and it just happened by chance. I was in the house one day. A letter came from your mum. She opened the letter, picked the letter up, and just threw the letter in the bin. So me, like a nosy little kid now, went and had a look at this letter. And she had to appear in some court in London about some maintenance thing with about my dad. But the only person who had a picture of my dad at the time was my grandmother. So I went to my grandmother's house, got a picture of my dad, and found out this court case thing. And me and my mate bonged the train and went up there. Okay. And that's how I met my dad. And since that day, we were close as anything.
Oh, okay, so you're close with him.
Yeah. He passed away probably about 9 years ago now.
Okay. You know. One very notable person he did fight in kickboxing was Vitaly Klitschko.
Yeah, man.
I could not believe that when I read that. He's an animal.
That fucker stitched me up, man.
Yeah. So tell us a story about that one then.
Well, it was World Championships in Ukraine, and I think I probably had 2 or 3 fights that day. And it says, "Oh, you're in the final tomorrow." So I went, "Yeah, all right, fair enough." So this is a long day thing because you're in the stadium from about 8 o'clock in the morning and you're with all the rest of the England squad. So it's not as if you can finish your fight and then go back to the hotel.
Yeah.
You got to all go back as a team. So I said, I had my fights, and he says, yeah, you're fighting in the final tomorrow. I went, all right, no problem. Took my gloves off, took my helmet off, and I just fell asleep. And I think it was about an hour later, wake up, you got to fight. I said, I ain't fighting. He says, I'm fighting tomorrow. If you don't fight now, you're going to get disqualified. So I had 10 minutes to warm up and fight. I didn't know who this guy is, but I got in the ring.
You're thinking I'm hoping it's this little 4 foot nothing.
Listen, man. So after, sometimes I don't even train. I just get up there and fight. I got the art to fight.
Yeah.
And I got in the ring and looked at it. What is the size of this motherfucker? You know what I mean? It was all legs, man, and arms, nothing like Stretch Armstrong. But he beat me. He beat me fair and square at the end of the day, but he did knock me out. So he won on points.
I tell you what, that's an achievement. So that'd be going on my CV.
Yeah. What year was that?
I think it was 95.
So how old would he have been then, do you reckon? That probably, 6 years or so before he became because obviously he became world boxing champion.
Well, they were both kickboxers first.
Yeah.
And then the year after that, I fought in Hawaii. Fought a guy called Dennis Alexio.
Yeah.
He played Van Damme's brother in kickboxer.
Okay.
The one in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
Right. And I had a fight against him for world title fight. I got kicked in I think it was the second or third round, I got kicked in my groin. Split my box. I'm down in the ring in pain.
Yeah.
And then the promoter jumps in the ring and says, if you don't get up and carry on fighting, you ain't going to get paid.
Really?
So I got up and done extra.
Straight back up.
Yeah, I got up, done extra 2 rounds, and I just retired on my stool.
Yeah.
Only having sight in one of your eyes, did that not affect you?
No,
I suppose you're used to it, aren't you?
I'm used to it, you know what I mean? About the year after that, I went to Brazil, knocked out a guy called Paulo Zerrero for the world heavyweight title, and I took him out in 3 rounds. The guy's never been beaten, the guy's never lost a fight before, and I knocked him out.
Yeah. So was that still kickboxing, or when did you make the transition into MMA?
Well, it's hard because I had my first MMA fight 2000.
Okay.
That was my first fight because obviously I was fighting in Holland a lot, and I was knocking them out left, right, and centre in Holland. And then one of my promoters in Holland, a guy called Bert the Shooter, he lives in North Holland in Groningen. He comes up to me and says, "Baz, I got a show on in Groningen, which is in the north. So it's about 3-4 hours on a train from Amsterdam." He says, "All the top promoters in Holland have heard about you, and they want to come and see you." And I think I was fighting a guy from Rotterdam, something like supposed to be some racist skis or something like that, and I'm fighting him. I knocked him the fuck out, didn't I? Knocked him out, and then I was just taking the piss out of him in the ring after I knocked him out. All started throwing chairs and bottles at me in the ring, and
because you're like the home fighter.
Yeah. Security had to come in there and throw him out in the changing room because I was milking it. I was taking out my gum shield and spitting on it and going, "Yeah, wait." You know what I mean? I was leaving.
Yeah.
And then one of the promoters came in the changing room and says, "Have you heard of this thing, what we call free fight?" I ain't got a clue what free fight is, mate. He says, we pay good money, and if you're paying good money, I'll fight it. I don't care what it is, I'll fight it. So he gave me a video, and I took the video and watched this, and it was like, free fight, anything really goes. So I says, yeah, I'll have a go at this shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think I had my first fight against a guy called Sunder McKillian. This is 2000, and I think he had 6 fights, won 4, lost 2, or whatever he had anyway. But it's not that I beat him. I took the piss out of him before I knocked him out. You know what I mean? I was showboating on him in the ring. Yeah. And it just took off from there.
Yeah.
You know, I ended up having like 6 or 7 fights and 5 wins or 4 wins or whatever it was, and that was it.
Yeah. So that would have been like, because MMA nowadays it's very early sport.
But at the time, there was no one in this country apart from a guy from Milton Keynes, Lee Asnell, fighting that type of fight.
Yeah.
No one else was fighting.
Yeah, because that would have been in the very, very early days of MMA. And like now, you look at, you got like Bellator, BAMMA, UFC, obviously internationally. It's a huge sport now.
Well, the Japanese were killing it first.
But there's a lot of big Japanese promoters in
Japanese promoters.
MMA.
That's what I've always wanted. That was one of my places to go, Japan. You know what I mean?
So do you know Michael Bisping?
I've fought Michael Bisping.
Really?
We're good friends.
Yeah, I could say, because he's sort of, he won if those of you don't know, he won a UFC MMA world title with one eye, essentially, didn't he? Because he lost the sight in one of his eyes in a fight, in a UFC fight. So somebody that
he's good, very good friend of mine.
Yeah.
He beat me in a fight. We had a wacko British title fight.
Okay.
And he beat me.
Yeah.
He won.
Seems like a really nice guy from what I've seen.
Beautiful guy, man. Beautiful guy. He sent me signed T-shirts and things like that. You know,
awesome.
When he was getting up there, sent me signed T-shirts and everything, man. Lovely guy, man.
Okay, so the thing that you've sort of became more notorious from then, so we'll touch on it, is your sort of association with the Birmingham casual scene.
You mean the Zulus?
That's them.
Yeah.
So if you want to just tell us, like, right back from the start, how did you get involved with those guys?
Well, back in the day, because I've been on the town since I was 11, 12 years old, you know what I mean? It's like coming home from school, you go and you change your school uniform, you catch your bus to town. And you better make sure you catch your last book.
When you say town, are you meaning just city centre, Birmingham?
City centre,
I don't know if you know where the ramp is.
Yeah.
Right.
Mackey's on the ramp.
Yeah, that's where we always used to hang out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So we used to get a bus into town and make sure you catch the last bus out. You catch the last bus, you're bunging a taxi afterwards and running off. So we're on the town 7 days a week from when I was about 11, 12 years old. 7 days a week on the town. So we knew everything. We were rude boys. So we didn't get on with mods and we didn't get on with skinheads and rockers and, you know what I mean? But on a Saturday, you used to have like a bunch of skinheads coming to town. And we'd always have it off with all these skinheads. You know, every week in, mostly week in, week out, we was having it off with all these skinheads. And as time goes on, we got to know a couple of the guys and, you know what I mean? Got to know a couple of lads. And they says, you guys like fighting, come down the Blues. And I remember going down I think it was about 82, 83, first time I went down the Blues. Walked in the ground, I went, what the fuck? You're just full of skinheads, man. You know what I mean? Them times, just full of boneheads. And at the time, they were still giving out the Bulldogs magazine, which was a national front magazine.
Wow. So a lot of racism then.
Yeah. Well, obviously, there was loads of racism, but we never really suffered racism. Even though we was on the ramp and we were fighting loads, we never really suffered that much racism, really. I never really suffered racism until I moved to Coventry.
Yeah.
Well, that's another story. I'll tell you that in a minute.
Yeah.
So we started going down there and fighting.
Were you a Birmingham fan at that point? Or did you just go for the fighting, really?
I just went for the fighting.
Yeah.
You know, because I live close to West Bromwich Albion football ground.
Okay.
Than I do to bloody Villa or Blues.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's it all started.
I bet you didn't even know who they were playing or anything most of the time, did you? Just there for the scrap?
Them days, I didn't give a shit who they were playing. I couldn't tell you a left back from a right back.
Yeah.
Or I knew the goalkeeper. you know what I mean? Them days, I weren't interested in football, mate. I was just interested in, you meet in town, you have a fight in town, you go to the match, you have a fight in the match, you have a fight after the match, you come back into town, you probably have a fight, then you go home.
Yeah.
An away day, you jump the train, jump the coach, go to the match, have a row after the game, hopefully you come home.
Away day's better, loads better.
Oh, a lot better.
Yeah.
A lot better. I love going to all these towns, and I remember going to places like Wigan and places like that. I ain't seen so much brothers come land down there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though Zulu thing is not a black thing, you know, it's a multiracial thing. Because Birmingham City, man, you ain't gonna get more multiracial than Birmingham City.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Not even the shit down the road. That's the Villa. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're more multiracial than any.
It was named
firm in the
after
country.
like a chant or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, what it was, I think it was about 83 or 84, so I can't remember, something like that, at Man City. Someone just chanted Zulu, and that's where it all Zulus. Because they were called the. I can't remember the bloody name of it now. It's just gone out of my fucking head.
What, the Birmingham before you?
Yeah.
It was the Apex.
Apex, sorry,
Yeah.
yeah. They were called the Apex first, and then it just happened that Man
Just
City.
goes from there. Yeah. So like, obviously, we're of a different generation to yourself, especially as football fans as well. So we've
Burton Albion.
No, we're Derby
Derby
fans.
fans, actually.
Derby, oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
So that's a question I want to ask you
Yeah, I
about Derby.
Forest is better.
Yeah. But like, we've not really been around football when that has been even really part of it, and I'm sure you're going to say now that it still goes on now.
It still goes on to this day, but you know what I mean?
Is it different now?
It's different, of course. You got cameras, and back in them days, you never had much cameras.
Yeah.
But now, you've got drones.
Is
and
it?
Yeah.
Is it pre-arranged, Baz? Like, you know, do you have a guy who's like, right, we're going to meet here, or do you just look for it?
It was pre-arranged before. I don't think it's that much pre-arranged now. But back then it was. But don't forget, you never had things like mobile phones and back in them days. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything was done by, I know a guy's number, you get a telephone call, we'll meet up here.
Yeah, it's a different world.
Not the same now, is it?
Yeah.
Tell him to fuck off on Snapchat.
But the trouble is, people think you go to a football match and you just start fighting. It ain't the cause. You know, I don't know you from Adam, but when you go to a football match, you know who you're looking for. By the time you get to the match, you know who you're looking for.
Yeah.
You're not just looking for a guy with a different coloured scarf around his neck.
Yeah.
No, man, them guys are idiots who pick on guys because they've got a scarf around their neck.
Yeah, because it's like an actual scene in terms of like you'd
It's
recognise somebody who was a Leeds fan.
It's a casual scene.
Yeah, like a
dress scene.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? And not everyone that dresses casual is an hooligan.
Yeah.
Don't forget, because back in the day, don't get a lot of the blues fans. They were solicitors, probably doctors, managers. You get guys come down in proper suits, man, Burberry suits and all that shit. And they were proper lads. You know, Mickey Mouse guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they're dressed to the fucking nines, man.
Yeah.
If you went to a game, let's say an away day, and there wasn't a scrap, would you be gutted? Would you like come away disappointed, or would you always find one somewhere?
You'd always try to find one because that was part of your day out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Party day is not getting injured, not getting arrested, but have a nice fight and come home.
Yeah, if you go away, win 3-0 and don't come back with a broken bone, you're laughing.
Even if we lost 3-0 and we had a brilliant row after that, that's the day done.
Yeah.
You know, like your idea was to say, for instance, we're playing Derby, right? We'd find out the main pub where all the Derby lads drink and try and get there before all them lot come out.
Really?
So we're in their main boozer.
Yeah.
Where them not going to go? We've come and took your main boozer off you.
Yeah. Let me ask you about Derby then, because we've obviously got a lot of our family and stuff who watch this are all Derby fans.
Yeah.
So
Derby who?
Yeah, I was going to say. So from the point of view of the casual scene in those days as well, what was Derby's firm like?
Derby had a good firm. Well, obviously Derby and Forest have got, grief. But Derby have always had I can't remember.
DLF.
Yeah. Derby's always had a good firm, man. Always had a good turnout for Derby.
Yeah.
Always.
Who was seen, in your opinion, as because obviously we're going to just touch on the films shortly, aren't we? But kind of Millwall, West Ham get built up as the big ones. What was the hardest you ever fought?
Millwall's overrated, man. You know what I mean?
All mouth.
Chant all the niggers and the packies and this and that what they want to shit. When it comes down to rowing, man, they're only good at home. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't really rate Millwall. I've rated West Ham and like Man United and some of the London teams and scummy Leeds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But,
Dirty Leeds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're good friends with Cass, aren't you? Cass
Yes,
Pennant.
yeah.
Again, he was himself was the leader of the West Ham firm, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So one of the things we wanted to touch on then.
You can even ask Cass, and Cass will tell you the same thing. Every away football fan used to fear coming into Birmingham.
Yeah, really.
Because when they come into Birmingham, they have to deal with us first on the ramp.
Yeah. Yeah, well, my dad said the same thing.
Listen,
he's of your generation. He said the same thing.
Every football firm used to fear coming to Birmingham because you come off your train, you're getting taxed by us, right?
Yeah.
You're getting robbed and you're getting taxed by us, and you got to get down to the ground. And you get it when you get down to the ground, and then on your way back up, you're coming back to meet us in town.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? Well, you remember when all these Takini and Les first come out, and you had all these Scousers and these Cockneys coming down, walking like this through town. Yo, that looks nice. That looks like my size. Take it off. I'm having it.
Really?
And that's what we used to do. We used to just tax them.
What was it like on a derby day? So if you played Villa or something, was it like rowdy or not?
Villa are shit, man. Villa ain't rated, man. You know. They hardly come out.
Really?
Yeah, they don't come out, man. You got to go looking for them. Oh, mind you, we had some good rows with Villa, but brilliant rows with them.
Do you still go to games now?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I bet it's still down there. It's still burning, isn't it? The fire. It must be.
But you know what? I can't afford to get myself into trouble. It's burning, but I can't afford to get myself into trouble, man.
Yeah.
You've got too much to lose now.
I've got too much. I ain't going to. Oh, some of the Blues fans just got arrested. Got jailed the other day for running on a pitch. You're getting 2 years for running on a pitch.
Yeah. Well, Cass was one of the first people to get like a reasonable prison sentence, wasn't he? He got 4 years, didn't he, back in the day, which seems like a long time, really. Yeah.
So obviously, there's been some pretty naff football hooligan films, haven't there?
Oh,
how do they compare to normal? Obviously, you've lived it. You must watch them and think.
From the horse's
Christ.
mouth.
Yeah, but
what it's like.
You know, you talk a lot. You talk to some of these lads from the football scene, and they'll say the same old shit. oh, we've never ran from anybody. We've all ran, mate. We've all been chasing the fucking road. I remember going to Coventry City back in the early 80s, and you're running for your life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And some guys will put down in books, we've never been run, we've never been chased, we've never done. Just chat loads of shit, man, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even watch some of the films, just a load of bollocks.
Which ones have you seen? Have you seen like Green Street, for example?
Yeah, I've seen Green Street.
Is it? I mean, obviously that's got its critics anyway, that film.
Yeah.
But
well, Cassie's one, brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, I'll take my hat off to him. And the film was good, and Rise of the Foot Soldiers is good.
Okay.
Good film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But a lot of them are bit naff.
Naff, yeah.
Yeah. I thought you would probably say that as well. Yeah. So in terms of, like, say, modern football's changed a lot, hasn't it, since the 80s?
Oh, definitely.
Not just on the casual side, but if you think of the introduction of the Premier League, of TV rights deals, going away from standing into seated terracing, stuff like that.
I go to a game and I ain't sitting down for no one. I'm standing up, man. You know, well, Birmingham City, we do what we want.
Yeah.
And we want to stand up, we stand up.
Yeah, so it's a completely different game, isn't it? So yes, it's actually surprised that you go now, but you're more of a fan now, and you actually the players.
I'm more of a fan. Yeah, if I see a fight, I'm standing here watching.
Yeah.
Watching from a distance. I like it.
Shaking, like.
I ain't shaking. I want to get in there.
Shaking anticipation. I mean,
I can't, mate. I can't.
Yeah. Well, actually, I've got a story about that. I was at Wembley for one of the playoff finals with Derby.
Yeah.
And there was a guy who I recognised because my dad had pointed him out to me before.
Yeah.
He was one of the heads of the DLF.
Yeah.
And he was literally just stood with a pint in the concourse because we were like 1-0 down or something. And this guy, pissed up Derby fan, came over and he was like really touchy-feely with him. He was like, imagine if it was you. He'd be like, oh, Baz, like, love you, mate, you're a ledge, blah, blah, blah. And this guy's fuming because we're losing at half-time. And he just got a little bit too, like, close to him. And the guy just, like, launched him off and threw his pint at him. And I thought, it must be hard to have that, like, notorious nature of it. It must be hard.
I get it. No matter where I go, I'll get it all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I'll get it all the time. But the trouble is, it's nice to be nice. That person who's carrying like a fucking dickhead is probably one of the ones who bought my book.
That's true.
So it's nice to be nice. If the guy's being a prat, I'll say, listen, mate, do one.
Yeah.
But it's horrible sometimes, you know what I mean? Guys come up to you, you're a legend. I ain't no fucking legend. I'm far from a legend. Legends are the ones who are out there fighting the fucking war, mate.
Yeah.
I ain't no legend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Does it annoy you that, like, kind of you can't just get on with normal life sometimes? You get people pestering you a lot, or?
If you know, that's why my wife, she won't come up town with me. Because if I come to town shopping on Saturday, I'll just get bombarded. Can I have a picture, mate? Can I have a picture? All right, Baz, all right, you're a ledge. Shut the fuck up. And deep down in me, even when we were on holiday, we were in Turkey about 2 years ago, and we had a guy follow us for an hour.
Really?
Follow us for an hour. He could have just come and says, oh, you're Baz, can I have it? But he waited till we sat down having something to eat.
Oh, yeah.
Then the dickhead comes over and says, can I have a picture, mate? Yo, geezer, I'm eating.
You had all this time to ask.
You've had all this time, I'm eating.
Yeah.
But it's nice, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the first touch subject, I remember when I did the Danny Dyer programme, Britain's Hardest Man, and after I'd done the programme, I thought, have I done the right thing or have I done the wrong thing? You know what I mean? And after the programme, the first place I went out was Newcastle. Bloody hell, man, I got bombarded to Newcastle. And I thought someone was going to, people were going to come up to me and think, you think you're Britain's Hardest Man? I've never labelled myself as Britain's Hardest Man. That was the name of the bloody programme.
You're worried you'd put a target on your back?
No, I always thought, going out, someone's going to come up to you and say, so you think you're Britain's Hardest Man? I'll have a go.
Yeah.
But it's never once happened to me.
That's good.
And I've been all over the country and loads, whatever. But it's never once happened to me.
Yeah. Well, you segued quite well, actually, because that was the next thing I was going to ask you about. So how did that come about? Did they get in contact with you? Or?
No, well, I was at a fight in NEC to watch I think it was a Bama show or something in NEC. And someone says, oh, yo, Barrington Patterson, blah, blah, blah. We want to do a TV documentary about you. And that's where it all started.
Yeah.
That's where
This is the Ultimate Challenge!
I know I've done a few naughty things in my life, but I'm not sure I deserve to be sent to Coventry. Literally. Not only that, I'm here to meet a guy with a fearsome reputation, a fighter who's feared on the deadly cage fighting circuit.
Let's hear it for Barrington Patterson!
He lives to fight. whether it's outside a pub or in the ring. He'll go up against anyone, anywhere, anytime. Bashing someone up, the pleasure I get out of doing that. He loves the adrenaline rush that only a fist connecting to flesh can provide.
That's an offensive weapon. You know, I could stand there having a row with him, one bang, bang. Split his skull open, that's a fucking murder.
Went down really well, didn't it?
He was like,
Danny Dyer's awesome.
Wicked guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He can't fight fucking sleep. You know what I mean? But, you know, I still talk to him now. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's an unbelievable guy, man. Even the film crew, I'm still in contact with some of the film crew now. Lovely guy.
Yeah. It makes me laugh that he's been like pigeonholed. It's made him, and I get it because he has to play on it, but he's not old at all.
You know,
is he?
he plays yard, man. He gives it the fucking Johnny Concrete. Well, deep down, he can't fight fucking sleep.
Yeah.
It is what it is, isn't it?
So that documentary covered you training for your sort of like big farewell fight, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Which you won, which was good. But I think you got a lot of positive reviews because, like you said, similar along the lines of the book thing, where you see a lot of these like notorious hard men. They're like, oh yeah, I've never lost a fight, I'm this and that. Whereas yours was just pretty genuine, your whole life as it was.
Gonna beat it, you know. And there's still loads of what I didn't tell in the book. I didn't beat around the bush. I didn't say, I'm an hard man, I went out there and bashed this geezer and I've done this, I've done that. I'm just as humble as fuck. And then when you look on the programme, the one what I've done with Danny Dyer, a lot of these other hard men who were on the programme, I stabbed this guy, I shot this guy.
Yeah.
Yo, what are you bigging up yourself for?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just an humble person.
Yeah, I like that you didn't cover, because some of them wear like scarves and stuff to cover themselves, and you were just like,
what am I hiding myself for?
Yeah.
What the fuck am I hiding myself for? You know, you all know who I am. So he's putting a pair of fucking glasses on or something. Well, I've got glasses at home when I use for reading. And sometimes I take one of the fucking lenses out. It's no good to me. I don't need the lens.
Yeah, good point.
You know what I mean? What the fuck do I want an extra lens for? I can't see out the bastard. What do I want an extra lens for? I might get one of them ones.
Like a monocle,
yeah. monocle. Get one of them, man.
You very much seem like a guy who's probably not intimidated by anyone, but what I wanted to ask you is, have you ever met anyone and been like starstruck by them?
No, I'll tell you what, when we went to their film thing, the governors, and this girl come to me and went, hello, blah, blah, blah. She said, she had Pixie Lot. I went to my wife, who the fuck's Pixie fucking Lot? And she went, oh, she's a singer. I went, bloody hell. Hello, love, you're right. Other than that, I just take everyone as they come.
Yeah.
I've met some nice people along the way.
Yeah.
Even without the film thing, and I'm just an easy guy, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm always polite. I try my best. Hello, sir. Can I have a picture, sir? You know what I mean? And that's what I'm like.
Yeah. Have you had a lot of? You met a lot of like celebrities in your work, in like the security work and stuff like that.
Yeah. I've done a lot. Yeah.
So moving on to then. So what are you what are you up to nowadays? Are you working security? Is that like a full-time thing?
No, it's not full-time. I'm a delivery driver, man. You
Okay.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
I deliver parcels and whatever people want to deliver, and I just deliver them.
Yeah.
In dead bodies.
Like a man with a van, sort of.
Yeah. I'm a man with a van. But yeah, I just do that, and the homeless stuff that me and the wife do.
Yeah. So we wanted to touch on that.
It's been a bit of a farce for the past couple of months, but
everything has, hasn't it?
Yeah, just hoping to get back on it, man. Cause since the lockdown, we haven't been out. You know what I mean? And obviously, there's still homeless people out there. But the Asian guys that we do with Midland Language Services, they're still out there 24/7. Man, I've got to take my hat off to them, but I ain't catching COVID for no motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I've got to think about myself and my kids before I think about anybody else.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How did that all start, getting into the homeless charity?
I think it all started, one of my mates, Bobby, an Asian guy from one of my friends, he rang me and says, Baz, why don't you come down one day and see what it's like? And this was in town, on the other side of town. I went down there and I thought, yeah, man, this is all right. Started helping him serve food. And one of my friends came up from school. You know what I mean? I went, fucking hell. I can't believe it. Begging, not begging.
What, he was homeless?
Yeah, he was homeless. And I give him a couple of quid right out of me and give him some food and that. And then I got home and I was talking to the wife, and I said to the wife, you know what? It's really touched me doing this, what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? It's really got to me. But they need more than bloody food, right? So I got talking to the Asian guy and says, listen, I'm going to start doing like clothes and toiletries and dog food, because a lot of these homeless people have dogs.
Yeah.
So, and that's how it started. You know, it's like the first week when we got a van and got down there, I was giving away my trainers that I had on my bloody feet.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
So I'm all right because I'm going up to a nice warm house and I've got more trainers than giving away to a geezer. But I don't think nothing of it, man.
Yeah, it's really nice though, and obviously it's nice for them to have you on board because you can use your sort of your your followers, things like that.
If you came out with us on a Tuesday, we're all Bazz.
Yeah.
They all bloody know me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, but like I say, you can leverage that, and if you put out to your Twitter followers, we need this, and this, I'm sure you get more than you did before.
That's what I mean. Yeah, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Yeah.
Everyone's on it, man. And we've had loads of donations and people that help us out in the past, and thank you all very much, man.
If anybody wants to donate as well to the cause, I'll put some links in as well in the description below.
Birmingham homeless support.
Yeah.
Amazing. So what's a day in the life of Baz at the moment? So I know you're up always early, and Tracy's always tweeting at 4 or 5 a.m.
Yeah, I'm up most time 4 o'clock. Sometimes 5 o'clock. I'm in the gym, man. You know, man. To me, I'm 55 now. You know what I mean?
You look great for
my training comes first, man. But the trouble is, I have to try and keep myself one step ahead because I'm a target for people, if you understand what I'm saying. You know what I mean? You get all these hood rats out there, right? And they all want to make a name for themselves.
Yeah.
And the only way they can make a name, if they take out a main guy or a name guy, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I ain't giving no fucking a chance, man. I don't take no talk or nothing off anybody. You know, you disrespect me, man, I'm stamping in your face. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? I don't go out there disrespecting them. I treat people as I wanted to be treated myself. But the moment you disrespect me, I'm stamping your face. I don't care. I'm a changed man, but I ain't changed that way.
Yeah.
No retirement soon.
No, listen. It's the same thing when I go to my mum. My mum says the same thing. When you gonna stop fight? That means when are you gonna stop fighting? Listen, the day I stop fighting is the day I stop breathing.
Yeah.
And that's the day I stop fighting.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's just in you, isn't it?
Yeah.
And how long do you spend at the gym? Is it like a once a day thing for a couple of hours?
Yeah.
Or?
Well, usually, sometimes during the COVID thing, I was getting up like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. I'd go for a fasted walk, 45-minute fasted walk. That means just get up, drink a cup of water, 45-minute walk. Come back home, have my porridge, my banana, my blueberries, my raspberries, my 5 egg whites, half a cup of black coffee, and go to the gym. Hour later, go to the gym. But I'm doing a half an hour cardio before I start training.
Yeah.
And I'm training for an hour and a half. And in the afternoon, about 3 o'clock, I go for an hour and a half walk.
Getting all that done so early must be really satisfying.
But now, but like, say for instance, now I'm at work at 6 tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'll be in the gym at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a couple of years ago, you did.
But I'm in my bed, boys, 7, half 7.
So
Yeah.
you did a bodybuilding competition, didn't you?
Yeah.
So obviously, like staying in shape and stuff through your fighting and stuff would have been something you've done for years. But what made you want to go into it as actual like competing bodybuilding?
Well, what it was, I gave myself a goal to go for. You know what I mean? This year, I haven't gave myself nothing. I'm just going through the motion. I gave myself a goal, and I had a famous guy prepping me, a guy called Ernie Taylor.
Okay.
And he's well known in the bodybuilding world from Dudley. And he was prepping me. And I've never actually done a diet before, a proper diet. And he says to me, you've got to have like 40 grams of this, 60 grams of that. I went, Ernie, it ain't fucking happening, man. No. I love my food too much. I tried it for the first 2 days and I had one prep, I had a prep food, dinner time to eat. But I was that hungry, I had to have like 2 or 3 more.
Yeah.
I went up to him and said, listen, Ernie, it's not happening. I'll eat clean, but I'm not into weighing food or you know what I mean? That's not me. Because when I'm hungry, I get violent. You know what I mean?
No one wants that.
No, it's not that. I'll be getting a sack from the fucking wife, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she had to have the brunt of it as well. You understand what I'm saying? But I gave myself, I won the qualifier one, and I came 4th in the British.
So like British Masters, like bodybuilding. Yeah, so I'm going to put a clip in here. I've got it on YouTube.
I was happy with that.
Yeah.
Well happy with that, man. You know what I mean? But 4th in the British. Oh.
That's brilliant. Yeah.
That's amazing.
But yeah, the diet is like say down when you're doing your macros and things like that. It's just a complete nightmare, isn't it?
It's and I was on 6 litres of water a day. you know, you're just constantly going to the toilet, waking up 3-4 times in the night,
Yeah.
going to the toilet. Then when you wake up in the morning, it's like you haven't slept.
Yeah. Did you have to do like a weight cut, like just before?
No, because I was heavyweight anyway. It was I was over 50s, and I'm heavyweight anyway. But I wasn't trying to get down to any weight.
Yeah.
But I got down to 16 stone 2 from about 17, 12.
Yeah.
16 stone 2.
But it's more like body fat percentage.
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
get
yeah,
in
yeah,
out.
yeah.
But what did you get down to? Do you know?
16 2.
No, like body fat percentage wise.
You know what? I didn't weigh nothing. I didn't measure nothing. I didn't.
Yeah.
Nah,
Not a lot, by the way.
I just done it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. No, it's brilliant.
I was happy.
Yeah.
But the trouble is, what got me is like, the last time I was 16 stone was at school. Even people say to me, "You look thin, but you look bigger because it's muscle."
Of course, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. 16 stone's not small.
Like now, I don't want, you know, I've been through that big lump stage. I just want to stay nice and calm now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm 17 stone 2 at the moment. I just want to stay lean like this.
Yeah.
Lean all the year round.
It's mad when you think that, you know, people like Dorian Yateses and people like that, and the Ronnie Coleman and stuff.
Yeah.
To think about they were doing it like year on year. How did they do that?
Them guys are... Oh no! Hey, listen. I'm looking at me good eye. No, yeah, man. Don't get me into the pound here. So, yeah, but them guys in the off season, you get to like 20 odd stone in the off season, and you get down to strip it all. I can't do it. I've never been into that, mate.
No.
I've never been into that.
Yeah.
Right, so we just want to touch a little bit on so like family life. So you've mentioned Tracy a few times. Just briefly summarise for us, kind of, you know, what she means to you.
Yeah, I can't even explain. She means the world to me. It's my third wife, man. Come on.
Oh, okay.
I love wedding cake.
Amazing.
Yeah, man. She's good, man. She's. I don't have to ask her to do anything. She's just onto it. You know, like, even when I have like bookies and things like that, you deal with it. Like,
Yeah.
I just can't be asked. What emails? Don't give them I'll give them her email address. She reads things for me. She does this. You know, any payments got to come. She does this. She's my world, man. You know what I mean? She's my world.
That's really nice. So about like kids and like grandkids now.
I've got 4 kids and four grandkids. You know what I mean? We ain't got no kids between us, but she's got a son and he's got a grandson now.
Yeah.
And I still class him as my son and my grandson.
Is that Nathan?
Nathan, yeah.
So
yeah.
he does. Again, check this out on Twitter. I'll put his details in the description. He does like graffiti art, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And it's fantastic, isn't
He's
it?
doing,
Really impressed by that, yeah.
He got made redundant from his job, so he started doing this full time. He was doing it while he was in his job.
Yeah.
But it's took off that well. It's just gone mad.
Yeah, it looks really good. Some of his stuff is great.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Fair play to him.
Yeah. So what's it like being a granddad Baz then?
You know what I mean? It's nice. You know, like I went up to my daughter's house, the one who lives in Colville, and I went up to pick my granddaughter up from school. She goes, that's my granddad, one-eyed Bazs. And
I can imagine there's not many granddads in your shape.
And she's only 4 or 5 years old. You know what I mean? So it's nice, man. It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think about more of the grandkids than your own bloody kids.
Yeah.
At least you can give them back when you're ready.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, isn't it? When you have like grandchildren and stuff, it's like you spend your whole life when you've got your own kids trying to get to the position where you can afford to give like your kids this awesome life and everything like that, and have the time yourself to spend with them. And maybe you don't really get that until you're a grandparent. I think that's why the grandparent-grandchild relationship's really nice, isn't it? Because you've got that time as well.
Definitely.
There's one very, very special person in your family I want to ask you about, who I absolutely adore, Oscar.
Oh, listen, that was my parrot, man. Yeah.
So Baz has got a parrot.
We love Oscar.
And can you tell us about how you got him, how old he is, etc.?
Well, I've had him about probably 31 years. You know what I mean? I bought him for a bag of sand off a guy in Coventry. one of my old mates called Jim Fenton, he passed away.
Yeah.
And I bought him from him, and I've had him since. And he's met Danny Dyer. You know what I mean?
We're going to put a video on here of him trying to steal your breakfast.
You know, he's eating your breakfast.
Yeah. He's all,
Hello. Now we're making 7,000 sets of scrubs for 9 hospitals in our region.
And you are now also you're working on a prototype for a reusable surgical gown.
Yes, this is something we offered right at the start.
every morning, guarantee every morning I come down. As soon as you get downstairs, hello. That's all you get, hello. As soon as he hears a microwave going, he's sitting at your feet waiting. You got to pick him up, put him on the table, just starts eating your breakfast. You know,
Is that all he says? Hello?
No, he swears, fuck off, rat bag, hello, and things like that. And it's nice you know, like in the summertime when kids used to go past sometimes from school and the windows open and the kids would say, hello Oscar, fuck off. And, you know what I mean, rat bag and things like that.
Love that.
But you know what? There's only certain people who go to. It took the wife a long time to get used to him. And my wife's brother-in-law can pick him up and he looks after him all the way. But he won't. Every person that comes to the house, he attacks him.
Oh, really?
Even Tracy's son, my kids have never picked him up, never touched him. My grandkids have never touched him, or they ain't going to touch him either.
Yeah.
But, no, he's a vicious.
Oh, yeah, because you would have had him for, what, 20 years before you met Tracy?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Well, my oldest daughter's, 32, and I've had him 31 years. And she's never touched him either.
Yeah.
So,
What a legend.
Yeah, I love it.
We want to talk a little bit just about mental health, Baz.
Yeah, sure.
Now, is that something that you have any particular experience with? Like, how would you kind of summarise?
I've had experience because I've got a good friend of mine who started him off because I do a lot of refereeing now for the BKB, which is bare knuckle fighting. And one of my friends who started off in that's Big Steve. He ended up. I know that as far as I knew, he was all right. Sound guy. There's nothing wrong with him. When I had an argument with his missus, went into his bathroom, slashed his wrist, and boom. You know what I mean? So, and there's quite a few people. You don't know anyone's got anything because everyone's just normal as far as you're concerned, or as far as they're concerned. They're just normal, and they ain't gonna talk to anybody. You know what I mean? Like I said, I say to some people, my phone's available all the time. If you ring and talk to me, I'm not experienced, but sometimes you just need someone to talk to. But you know what men are like anyway, and men ain't gonna come out and say, "Listen, I've got bad men." It don't really happen.
Yeah.
You know,
So that seems to be the thing that
by
they're
the
pushing
time
at the
they
moment.
find out
isn't
about
it?
it, it's too bloody late.
Yeah, so the big thing they're pushing at the moment is like men's mental health and sort of like trying to talk more and stuff. And you think that's like a generational thing? Maybe like in your generation, that people talk less about it, and like you say, you end up not finding out they're ill until it's too late.
Well, there's a lot of
thing.
things men don't talk about it. When you got to go to doctors, I don't want to go to doctors.
Yeah.
We don't want to go to doctors.
So many people with that attitude, isn't there?
Yeah,
you're right.
Even like with testicular, what is it?
Testicular cancer,
Testicular cancer. What do I want to feel my balls for?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Well, we don't do that. If a woman wants to feel my balls, you can feel my balls. Yeah, but I ain't standing feeding my own balls, am I? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I do 100%.
We should do it.
Yeah.
Because women touch the breast and feel for lumps, so men should do it as well.
Yeah. I completely agree with that, you know, because it makes me feel sick, the thought of doing it, which is wrong. I should do it, but it makes me feel sick.
Definitely.
I feel my balls. I think, fucking hell, they're heavy.
Yeah, same here.
You know what I mean?
Right, we're just on
Don't call me King Dong for nothing.
We're on just the final few points now. We have a little feature, Baz, called Guestions. Okay, so it's a mix between guest and questions. Now we'd be doing our viewers a disservice if we didn't ask
You're
you
asking
these
me
questions.
something like that? Come on, man, I got more brains than the cow's got.
So it's 5 questions that we ask every guest. We just want quick fire answers, okay?
All right.
And then the last question is going to be a pun on your name, okay?
A pun?
All will become clear later on. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So number 1, are you familiar with the meal deal? So sandwich, crisps, drinks that you can get.
Yeah.
What's your go-to meal deal from a supermarket?
My 2 meal. Bag of smoky bacon.
Yeah, classics.
Right,
Started well
orange drink.
Yeah.
Tropicana or something.
Tropicana.
Yeah.
The cheese. Bacon and thingy sandwich.
Bacon and egg.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh,
that's a great
fantastic,
combo.
isn't it?
Yeah.
To make your bacon crisp, unreal.
Night in or a night out?
Night out. Get away from the wife.
Nice. Do you have ketchup at home?
Yes.
Is a lead-up question.
I love ketchup.
Okay. Fridge or cupboard?
Fridge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Again,
follow the
popular
rules.
answer.
Yeah.
Best holiday you've ever been on?
Oh gosh, Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Is that when you went to fight?
Yeah, went into part.
Yeah.
Well, it was a holiday as well, weren't it?
And so the last one's the parking. Do you drive, Baz?
Yes.
So if you're in a car park, are you a drive into the space nose first, or a swing your arse end in and reverse into the space?
I'm a drive in. Yeah.
That's the most common answer, isn't it? As
Yeah,
well?
yeah.
I think I'm a rarity.
Yeah,
I
you
always
are.
go arse first.
Tommy
yeah.
likes to show off that he's a good driver by saying that he reverses in.
Yeah,
But actually, everybody
always.
just flies in.
So then the final question.
Yeah, it's Baz Patterson. Like when you go chippy, what do you have from the chippy and that?
Me, I like cod and chips.
Just classic cod and chips.
cod
I was
Yeah.
hoping with something with batter in it to fit the pun. So, yeah.
Hey, good old fish and chips. I've sometimes once a week. Sometimes.
Oh, do you?
Either pizza or a fish and chips.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What's your pizza
suppose
topping of choice?
You know what I mean? I eat anything. Yeah. I prefer meat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Pepperoni.
not them. What's them green things named?
Oh, jalapenos.
Ah. Even when I have McDonald's, man, I got to take them things.
Oh, gherkins.
Yeah.
God, you're horrible.
Gherk out.
Yeah, gherk out, yeah.
Okay, so as you'll be aware, it was not long ago that there was an incident around these parts of Birmingham, a recent stabbing. Up to now, it's not been linked with any kind of terrorist organisation or any kind of gang-related things. But I just wanted your opinion on kind of, knife crime in general, and particularly in the Birmingham area.
Yeah,
as
you won an
well.
award recently from Weapon Free UK as well for your work on like, anti-knife crime.
You know what? I try and do. Kids nowadays ain't like us when we were kids. You know what I mean? They get driven now by money and drugs and whatever it is. You know what I mean? This gangster shit and all that shit. You know what I mean? And it's hard to talk to the kids nowadays. They want fast money and they don't care how they get the money. They want money. They want to, what gets me is like the kids go, there's no jobs for us. Yo, get off your lazy ass and go and look for a job. There's jobs out there for everyone. And you get a lot of these black people, they want employees go to be black. Bullshit. It's your attitude.
Yeah.
Get off your ass and listen. I've worked since the day I left school. I've always worked. You know what I mean? I've always worked, and oh god, it's horrible. You know, I got a son who's 16, and he lives in Totnes. I'm just glad he's not up here into all the shit. He's down there with all the rest of the hillbillies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trouble.
It's just hard. City life is hard.
Yeah. Do you think a lot of those like teenage lads then, like you say, they see the easy money, the fast money, and they think rather than go and get a job and work towards it and stuff.
I went to school. I give talks to kids, and I went to school. And I pulled this guy, and I was working at club over the road, Bamboo, and we searched everyone before they come in. Search this guy, and the guy had a knife on him. Yo, what you doing with this man? He said, Baz, I have to carry it, right? I'm not a gun man or a road man, but I have to carry it because if a bunch of guys say where you come from, I'm from Ladywood, so I've got to tell you I'm from Ladywood. Well, we don't like Ladywood. You're from the wrong postcode. You
They might stab you just because of that.
Yeah, just because that.
Really?
Or if you look like a G, gangster, gangbang, or what they call it, and you're not one, you get attacked. So you got to defend yourself.
It's a case of I'd rather have one and not need it than want one when I need it because everybody else has got one.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Which is sad, isn't it?
Why bring a knife to a gunfight?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you mentioned earlier, you said you were going to bring it back around to that you've experienced some racism yourself in Coventry.
Yeah, I did. I'm from Birmingham. I'm from Handsworth, and I never really suffered racism until I moved to Coventry. And I moved to Coventry '87. You know what I mean? And I started working at a place in Coventry called Reflections. And this club in Coventry, this is where all the main lads went from all different areas. This is where everyone went. You know what I mean? And I'm standing there one night, minding my own business, just doing the work on the door. I'll get a glass ashtray over my head. I'm standing there fighting 2-3 white lads, and I got like 10 black lads standing there watching. But the black lads didn't like me in Coventry because I'm from Birmingham.
Oh,
you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the white lads didn't like me because I'm black and from Birmingham.
God.
So I had to make my own way in Coventry.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
And that's what I done.
Yeah.
Penultimate question then, Baz. What does the future hold, or is it more kind of you just focusing on family now? And
I just thank God I'll get up every morning. I go to bed every morning. Get up every morning. I don't know what the future holds, man. I'm just living from day to day, you know, and thank God for another day. That's all I can do. Live to one day I can give away one of my daughters at a wedding or something.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That's what I'd love to do. You know what I mean? I've got nothing planned. I ain't got nothing planned out.
Still young, still in good shape.
Yeah.
Any sort of like family holidays you want to take the kids on, like grandkids on, anything like that? Anything they want to do?
That's got to be money, man. I'm broke, man. I'm broke. No, I mean, the kids are sorted. When I've gone, man, the kids are sorted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But what I've ever got now is just for me and the wife to enjoy ourselves, enjoy holidays. I hope to go on loads more holidays with the wife. and without the wife. But you know what I mean?
We mentioned earlier the film Cass, which is Cass Pennant's film based on his autobiography. Is that something that you might want to do yourself?
That's in the pipeline. Trust me. Yeah, it's in the pipeline. Because people are saying like, you know, when number 2 book's going to come out. Because I left a lot out of number 1. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But the film is in the pipeline.
Anybody that you want to play you in the film?
Who's going to play me?
I'm thinking Idris Elba.
Who?
He does kickboxing as well. I don't know if you know that, but I think that'd be perfect.
Yeah, it would be good. He'd
Or
have,
play
to put he'd have to put a bit of meat on, though.
yeah.
He needs to put some muscle on.
He ain't pretty enough to play me.
That's true. That's very true. Right, okay, so our final question then, the same question we ask everybody. If you could go back in time and speak to the 18-year-old Baz Patterson, what would you tell him?
Well, the things that I know now, I've changed. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
what advice would you give yourself?
Yeah, just keep doing the same shit what you're doing.
That's good. That means you've got no regrets, I suppose, isn't it?
No, I haven't got no regrets.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I haven't. No matter what I've done, I haven't regretted anything. You know, I've got 4 kids off 4 different women. I haven't regretted that. I wish I didn't do it, but it's not a regret. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think the only regrets probably I've got is I wish I knew what state my brother was in before he did what he did.
Yeah. Yeah, so you mentioned that before.
Yeah.
But if you're happy to say that.
Yeah, sure, man. You know what I mean?
So what was the situation
He
then?
ended up committing suicide, hanged himself. You know what I mean? But I wish I knew how he was feeling. He didn't talk or communicate, nothing. Because he left my house that morning, says he's going to work, and I'll see you later.
Yeah.
And that was it.
It's definitely not something you should have regrets or feel bad about, though.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't have been to, you wouldn't have known the situation.
Yeah.
That's, I imagine, a really hard thing for the whole family.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you kind of...
But you know what? You almost have some balls to do something like that. You know,
I've always thought that.
I
I
can't
don't know
even
what's
get
going
my
through
head
someone's
around.
head to do something
Yeah.
like that. And then it's the after effect, what it has on people afterwards. You understand what I'm saying?
I think, obviously, it's human nature. The absolute last thing we have in us as human nature is survival. That's an animal instinct. So it's the least human possible thing to do is to kill yourself. So that's why it's difficult for somebody who's not in that mindset to even think how you'd even get to that point, because you have to be so far gone mentally to even consider doing it. Because it's such a like
You must
not
have
a
some
non-human thing to do.
balls to do something like that, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's really sad, isn't it?
Well, I know we're approaching your bedtime.
My
Baz.
bedtime.
Yeah.
I ain't going past my bedtime. I get violent as well.
Thank you so much for coming on.
No problem.
Thank you.
As I said at the start of the video, guys, please like and subscribe, and we'll pop all the links for Baz's charity work,
Yeah, his book, everything.
autobiography, and everything like that. And we shall see you in the next episode.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Up the blues.
Thanks, Baz.
Cheers,
No
Baz.
problem.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Amazing.